All right, I'm on the phone with head football coach Mark Shields down at MDI. And, Coach, it's been a great week weather-wise for practice. Friday night's game at Hermon looks good. Tell us how the week has gone.
Yeah, Chris, got a really good week of practice. The boys definitely appreciate the cooler temperatures this week, and I think they're looking forward to them to keep dropping as the season progresses. But the thing for us is, I talked a lot this week to them about no letdowns. You come off a win over Dover, you come off a win over Belfast, and then you give Winslow everything you have against, probably three of the top teams in our conference. And you look at a team like Hermon, and, yeah, they're 0-3, but, last year we went up there, and they gave us everything they had, and, this game went late into the fourth quarter before we were able to put these guys away. So, for us, once again, talking to the kids, it doesn't even matter who our competition is. It's all about getting better, every play, every series, every game, every quarter, every game. So this is just another opportunity for us to get better. So the kids have taken that seriously. They've had a good week of practice. They look really crisp. I think they're excited to get up to Hermon and take on the Hawks tomorrow night. Yeah,
I remember last year up at Hermon, it was a relatively close game, and it was kind of a scare until late.
Yeah, I know my stomach was in knots until we finally put it away about midway through the fourth. But, yeah, I mean, we got up early and, whatever it was, 22-0 at halftime, maybe 23-0, and next thing you know, they come right out, stuff us on our first series on offense, and a couple plays later, they're in the end zone, and then next series they're in the end zone, and you're in a ball game again. So,
right.
Teams like Hermon are dangerous in that regard because, probably the way they're looking at it, they're not necessarily concerned about playoffs. They're worried about getting better and trying to knock off a team and get their first win. So, every game's a big game for them as well. So, I know they're well coached, and I know they'll be ready to go come tomorrow night.
And you caution the team about looking ahead. I mean, and that's always a danger, is you take a team lightly, and then all of a sudden you fall behind or something like that. A ball gets dropped, and then you're trailing.
Absolutely, and it doesn't take much. I told our guys, if we come out early and we're flat, and those guys at Hermon are feeling pretty good, and they're moving the ball, and, yeah, they get themselves in the end zone, and we're down, and next thing you know, they're going to be in your face all night long, and that's how upsets happen. That's what we tried to do to Winslow, come out early, which we did, and sure enough, we were hanging with those guys right through the fourth quarter. So, yeah, I mean, this team, they run a funky offense. It's called the double wing from Hermon. They're real tight splits. They're toe-to-toe up front with their linemen. They pack it in, and they try to run the ball at you, and they try to run behind all these linemen and pulling guards and tackles and running backs and quarterbacks, and it's hard to find the guy with the ball. So they pretty much hide the kid behind all those other kids. And if you don't get down on the front line defensively, you don't get low, you're going to get pushed way back, and then they're going to start moving the ball. And the type of offense that they run, it's ground control, which we're accustomed to down here at MDI, and their philosophy is the same as ours. Let's take time off the clock, get first downs, move the chains, and frustrate the defense and keep that other team's offense off of the field. So that's their game plan every week like ours. And if they come out and they get a few first downs, next thing you know, they have some confidence, score a touchdown or two, yep, could be a long night for us.
You guys have scored on your first possession the first three games of the season. I don't recall that ever happening as long as I've done the MDI football games.
Yeah, that is true, Chris. We talked about that before the Winslow game, and I think it just kind of gives an offense confidence. It gives a team confidence, and especially last week against Winslow, getting out early, like we said before, was really important. And I think getting out early any game is important because it just gives you that confidence early on in the game, and and then honestly, when you're scoring early, as far as calling the plays like I do for our team, it does open up your playbook a little bit more, because usually if you've scored, you've had some success, and then you can start to get deeper into your playbook and call some other stuff. But, if you get out there and you go 3 and out, it's hard to get a feel for what to call. It's really hard to call, and you're punting the ball away, and then you get the ball back, and you sort of kind of go back to your old reliables, things you think you're good at, but once again, those are normal tendencies for you to run, and then the defense are prepared for that. So, yeah, I think getting out early is huge in football games.
So given all that, if you win the toss, you're going to receive or you're going to decline?
Yeah, I think we will take the ball. It's good weather. On a bad, sloppy night, sometimes I like to kick it away because, it's hard to move the ball. Maybe we can get a big stop, or they turn the ball over on their first offensive series. But if the turf sounds like it's going to be dry and good conditions, and I wouldn't mind getting the ball first and see if we can get our offense rolling early.
What have you been working on this week in practice?
Yeah, we haven't added much. I think we added one new play this week, and like I said on Monday, I think at this point in the season, here we are, week 4. You start to simplify and really start to look at what's working, what isn't, what can we get rid of. Looking at the scheme of defense that your opponent runs, what do we think is going to work, what do we think is not going to work, and try to sort of whittle that down a little bit to a few plays that we feel comfortable, especially coming out early in the game and running. And, once again, we worked on all 3 phases of the game. We worked hard on our special teams, offense and defense. And, we spent a lot of time defensively this week because of what they want to do offensively, with them packing it in like it is and telling our down linemen to get low, because basically what you're running against an offense like this is not a defense that you would typically run. Because I told the kids, I said, this week we're running what's called a throwaway defense. This is a defense we will not use for the rest of the season unless we see another team that runs a double wing. But, who knows, we see Hermon again. But, yeah, so kids are repping positions. Some of the positions are just not exactly what they're taught, at the beginning of the year, and it won't be what they're taught at the end of the year. So this week, you really got to rep those hard to get them prepared for that.
All right, I'm going to ask you questions we've never asked before. So the season's almost halfway over. I want you to grade the team. So grade the offense, A through D.
Yeah, I think our offense, I would say we're right around a B. There's definitely room for improvement. There's definitely things, we've left some points on the field. We've had some turnovers. There's definitely plenty of room for improvement. But with that being said, I feel like, early on we've been able to move the ball on all 3 of our opponents. I still believe that there's more diversity in our offense. Against Foxcroft, we threw the ball more than we normally do, and then our last 2 opponents, we were running the ball again. So, I think honestly, we're best when we can do both in any given game. So we sort of, we got to get better at both those aspects of our offense, throwing and running the football.
All right, I would have gone a B+.
Yeah, I would say definitely a high B there somewhere.
They're a hard marker, Shields. All right, defense, A through D.
Yep, same thing. I think we're somewhere in the B range. Our defense this is one of the fastest defenses we've had since I've been down here. They really do swarm to the ball. The guys, they're very athletic, and they are very physical, which, if you're a physical defense, that's huge. To be able to play with a Winslow like we did last weekend physically, and not be intimidated and come up and make tackles against, those kids from Winslow who are tough kids, that's huge. With that being said, we gave up some big plays the other night against Winslow. We gave up those big pass plays, and that's something we've worked hard on this week to get better at that. So, our pass defense can definitely be better, and, up front I've been pleased with our effort so far, and we'll find out, Friday night against Hermon how well we do stop the run, because that's what they're going to do. They rarely ever throw the ball. When they do, they throw it deep, and it's usually, 3rd and long, 4th and long, if they're going to do that. So, I'd say once again we're somewhere in the B range.
I'd agree with that. I think in comments to the parents, I would write one of the better tackling teams in recent history.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've already faced some real good backs. That kid from Belfast, number 3, he's a real good back, and we held him under 100 yards. We held both the Winslow backs under 100 yards the other night. Their quarterback was under 100 yards. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I think we've tackled well, but once again, that's something we can definitely get better at.
All right, and special teams.
Yeah, special teams, I feel like we've done a really nice job. I've been really happy with our kickoff team. Those guys are running the lanes well, and they're tackling well. Our kickoff return team, we mixed it up a little bit this week. I felt like we weren't getting the ball up the field fast enough, and we run a middle wedge most of the time, and our wedge could have been better, getting up through the field, mid of the field. So that's something we need to improve on. We haven't punted a lot, but when we have, I thought our coverage was good, and our punter's doing a good job. And I think we had one bad snap against Belfast, so we need to clean that up. Punt return, I thought we did a nice job the other night against Winslow. And as far as our point after attempts, those can definitely get better. And we sort of mix that up week to week, so we rep those hard every week. But sometimes we put some new stuff in, and when you're putting new stuff in for a week, sometimes it doesn't look that great. So some games it's looked good, other games not. Our kicking has been, fairly inconsistent. I mean, I don't know what my kicker, what his stats are. Not looking at him right now, but he's worked real hard. He's gotten better at that this week, and then our PAT block, our point after attempt block, needs to get better. We came to try to block Winslow the other night, and they faked it and threw over the top of us for an easy 2-point conversion. So that can't happen. So there's plenty of room for improvement. I would say special teams, we're probably more of a B-.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Overall, give a grade.
Yeah, I guess it seems like we're in the B range across the board. This early in the season, I mean, honestly, we've been pleasantly surprised. How well we've done. I honestly, year to year, I never know. It seems like, and coming in, I knew we had some good players, some good football players, but the thing I'm most impressed with this season is the attitude of the team and the leadership of the team. The kids come to practice every day, ready to work. They're excited about football. They're excited about being around one another. It's been a nice feeling to be on the field with these guys, and that, I tell them, every day, that's what brings me back. It's not even the wins and losses. It's being with kids that I want to be around. I want to work hard, and we're actually moving towards the same goal. So that's been awesome.
So an A for effort.
Absolutely. I would definitely give us an A for effort. The kids have worked hard right from day one. They've done everything we've asked of them, and they've even gone above and beyond some of the stuff we've asked. So I definitely give these guys an A for effort.
I like these kind of questions. I think we're going to have to make this a part of our program. All right.
Thanks for putting me on the spot today.
I know. I know. I had to shake it up a little bit. I thought you were
over my words here.
I thought you were kind of like falling into the trap of, oh God, Popper's calling again. I'll just pull out the old number 2 answer and stuff.
I thought you were going to ask me something about my wife again. I always get myself in trouble with those. So
no, I don't want to get you in that much trouble. All right.
I don't need any help getting in trouble with her.
Exactly. So what do you want to say as we wrap things up? What do you want to tell all the fans?
Yeah, once again, thank you so much for your continued support. The crowd we had down here Friday night against Winslow was awesome, and if you can get up to the Hermon game, it's not that far of a ride. It's going to be a beautiful night for football. If you can get up there, that'd be great. But once again, we'll be back the following Friday night against John Bapps, and hopefully we can have a great crowd for that one.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
All right, Chris. Thank you.